Hello, my friends. How are you? I hope you are doing great. So, my friends, I would like to tell you something is that I'm going to set a challenge, which is to learn English for 2 hours every day for like 3 months. And my friends, we're gonna at the end of these 3 months, we're gonna see the results that I'm going to have and all the techniques that I've been using, select the few that had really worked with me and getting rid of the other techniques that I found useless. So let's do that, my friends. And during these 3 months, my friends, I'm going to learn to study 2 hours of English, regardless of either my schedule is crammed or clogged with tasks. So let's do that, my friends. And my friends, I'm going to be studying English using my tablet because the majority of the tools that I need to learn English, either they are books or like ChatGPT or Anki, they are all available in my tablet. And I have got this technique from Atomic Habits is that we need to dedicate or deduce each device for just one task. That really help us to avoid confusion because the majority of people they perform everything in their phone, and that's what make it really distractive. And my friends, for example, they might be learning and then suddenly they will get their phone get bombarded with notification, and they found themselves like instinctively jumping into the app, into another app in which they have been sent the notification. And my friends, I'm going to be making a load of mistakes, but as I will be listening to this recording and myself, that will enable me to spot and identify, pinpoint those mistakes so I can avoid them in future session. So let's do it, my friend. And I would like to tell you something is that, my friend, the sole reason or the sole aim behind creating these videos is not like to make money from YouTube or things like that. I'm just doing them for myself. And if someone stumble upon my videos, that will be really great because he will have an idea about how we can leverage and harness the power of AI to enhance our level in speaking. So I hope that you hear me clearly because this is the first time I'm going to be like recording my videos using this pair of headphones. So let's jump into it. And my friends, our English session, it will be split into segments or into parts. So for example, my friend, the first segment, it will involve sharing with my teacher, who is ChatGPT, sharing with my teacher like what I got from the book that I'm currently reading, which is Essentialism. Here is the book, my friend, that I'm currently reading, Essentialism. It is really a great book. I have just opened the book. I'm reading it in as an ebook. I will tell you later why I prefer to read ebook and not physical book. And my friend, this book, it is really great. And from now ago, I'll be sharing with you what I extract or grasp from the book. Another thing, my friend, that I would like to share with you is that we're going to be learning grammar through this book. Grammar, my friend, it is very essential and vital because it will help us to structure our phrases to talk about numerous times. And we're gonna be occasionally using this book, which is Oxford Skills, to extract some vocabulary that has high frequency or has a high frequency and used that is used commonly by other people. So without further ado, my friends, now I'm going to open ChatGPT. I'll open ChatGPT and I will have another conversation with it. And my friends, at first you're gonna find it odd or weird that I will be referring to it as teacher or calling it teacher. but this is, my friend, you're gonna get used to it because it is really my teacher, because it enabled me to acquire new skills, to practice my English. Because back in the days, my friend, like before the immersion of the AI, I really struggled to express myself or to practice speaking. So let's start, my friends, a conversation in where I will share what I have got from the book with it, and then I'm gonna enhance and correct all the mistakes that I will commit. So let's do that. So my friends, like while installing ChatGPT, you can set this widget that enable you to choose either you have like a back and forth conversation with it, shot an image and share it with it, upload an image, or just have like record yourself and then share the message. It is a widget that you can add to your screen to access easily ChatGPT. So let's start this conversation. Hello, teacher. How are you? I hope you are doing great. So, teacher, I'm going to share with you what I have got from a book that I started reading. My friend, I think I need to like create a new conversation with the teacher, because here, as you might have recognized, I've already had a conversation with it. So let's start a fresh new conversation with it. Hello, teacher. How are you? I hope you are doing great. So, teacher, I'm going to share with you what I have got from a book that I'm currently reading. And then, teacher, I would like from you to enhance and correct my mistakes, and also to enhance both my grammatical and vocabulary mistake. And I found, teacher, this book is really beneficial because it had really helped me to have mind clarity. And how this book had contributed to gaining mind clarity by what I'm going to share with you.
Absolutely, Ismail. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And of course, I'm happy to help. So let's polish up what you just shared. Instead of saying enhance both my grammatical and vocabulary mistake, we'd say enhance both my grammar and vocabulary mistakes, just to make it plural and smooth. And overall, you might say the book has really helped you gain mental clarity rather than mind clarity, which sounds a bit more natural. Feel free to share the details you got from the book, and I'll help you refine them.
Thank you very much, teacher. I really appreciate your help. So, teacher, this book is called Essentialism. And I have already asked you, teacher, about this book in the last day, because whenever I would like to dive into a book, I first ask you about either this book, it's kind of worth the time that I'm going to allocate or dedicate for learning it. So, what I have got, teacher, from today's reading session is, teacher, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. Please give me some time. Is that, teacher, what really lead the majority of people to not accomplish their long-term goal is that they channel their energy into numerous things. For that reason, they recognize at the end of the year, they recognize they have made minor and small improvement in lot of things. And teacher, that is really not great. Instead of doing that, teacher, we need to focus just on the essential things, that just the vital few and not the trivial many. And to do that, teacher, we need to, teacher, our time and energy is limited or constrained. I don't know, teacher, either I have used here the word constrained correctly to mean like we don't have a lot of it. For that reason, teacher, the author had stressed or emphasized or shed the light that we need to channel that energy to the most important things. And teacher, back in the days, I mistakenly or wrongly, I was really like a jack of all trades, if this is the right word. I have used this idiomatic expression to mean that I was trying to make improvement on numerous things, like, and I really regret that hugely, because until now, I still like without really any skills that's gonna enable me to make or generate money. But fortunately, I've been able to identify the roots of this mistake through this book. Likely today is that I really need to channel my energy and my discipline to just few things that's gonna help to make the ball moving, or to make progress on just one thing. So, what do you think, teacher? Correct or enhance what I have just shared with you so far, and provide me, teacher, with a synonym of so far. I think a synonym of so far it can be until now. And then, teacher, I will try to share with you more things regarding this book.
Absolutely, Ismail. And you did a great job summarizing your thoughts. Let me refine it a bit, and then I'll give you that synonym as well. So, one way to enhance your reflection is, teacher, this book is called Essentialism. And I actually asked you about it yesterday because whenever I'm about to dive into a new book, I like to check if it's really worth the time I'm going to dedicate to it. What I gathered from today's reading is that one major reason people don't achieve their long term goals is that they spread their energy across too many things. By the end of the year, they realize they've only made small, minor improvements in many areas, rather than significant progress in just a few essential areas. The author emphasizes that we need to focus on the vital few rather than the trivial many. In other words, our time and energy are limited, and we need to channel them into what truly matters. And yes, you use constrained correctly there to mean that our resources aren't unlimited. Also, you use jack of all trades perfectly. It's a great idiomatic expression to convey that you were trying to do a little bit of everything rather than mastering a few key things. As for a synonym of so far, yes, until now works perfectly. You could also say up to this point or thus far to vary it a bit. So overall, great job, and feel free to share more details whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much, teacher. I really appreciate your correction for what I have shared with you. You know, teacher, now we'll share with you some stories that the author had provided to shed the light or to emphasize the importance of channeling our energy to just one thing. So, teacher, I can say that the first example it have been provided by a person who was working in a company, and you know the mistake that this person was committing or making is that he was accepting all the requests that he gets from people. Either they are invitation to event or meetings. And you know, teacher, after this person, he noticed that that like saying yes to every new opportunity or every request that he get had really impacted and decreased his performance and his quality of his work significantly and tangentially. I don't know, teacher, the reviews here tangential. I think it is not even an an English word. I should have said tangibly. So, teacher, this person, after he reflected and pondered to what had really led him to decrease his quality, and you know, my friends, even when the company in where he was working in it recognized that his performance and the quality of his work had decreased significantly, they have decided that they gonna like provide him with retirement. I don't know, teacher, the reviews here provide him with retirement correctly. Even he had just 55 years old. So my friends, this person, he wanted to work as a consultant. And when he went to a mentor, he told him, I think he told him that just imagine or pretend that like apply the advices that you would give as a consultant. And I think this advices it would encompasses or involve not saying yes to many things. So when this person he started applying this advice that he get from this mentor, he had really started to have like more freedom by saying no to things that, so you know, my friends, like when we get like like when we get a request or an ask from a person, we need really to weigh it against our long-term goals. But firstly, it is crucial and vital to have a goal. So firstly, my friend, we weigh this goal against these requests that we get from other people. And that which will enable us to know either this goal is incongruent or aligned, or it will benefit us to approach or to reach our goal. If not, my friend, we should just say no. So, my friend, at first, the people to which we're gonna say no, they will at first feel disappointed. They will like resent us, but after they will get used to it, and they will appreciate our honesty and that we really prioritize our time and energy. And you know, my friends, by saying no, it will become a habit. It will really like we will start to say no naturally to all the things that doesn't benefits us in any way. And like that, my friends, we will have more time to dedicate or allocate for our vital things that's gonna help us to reach our goal. So, teacher, what do you think about what I have shared with you? And yeah, I think this is all what I have got from this today's reading session, because you know, teacher, I have started focusing on quality over quantity, because back in the day, teacher, as you know, I tried to learn a lot from a book. I have tried to read numerous pages from a book in one day, because I thought that the more pages I read, the more better I will become. But after, teacher, I've recognized really, you know, teacher provide me with a synonym of the word recognize, because I really feel that I overly use this word. I noticed that it is not about quantity, but rather about quality, about digesting what we read and trying to reflect on how we're going to apply it in our day to day life. So, teacher, enhance or correct what I have just shared with you, and then, teacher, we can move into other things.
Absolutely, Ismail. You've done a fantastic job sharing all of that, and I can definitely help polish it up a bit. So here's a refined version of what you said. Thank you so much, teacher. I really appreciate your help. Now I'd like to share a few stories the author included to emphasize the importance of focusing our energy on just one thing. The first example is about someone who worked at a company and made the mistake of saying yes to every request, whether it was an invitation to an event, a meeting, or any new opportunity that came his way. Eventually, he realized that constantly saying yes had significantly impacted his performance and the quality of his work in a tangible way. And you use tangibly just fine. It's a good choice here. Because of this, the company actually suggested he take early retirement at 55. After reflecting on what went wrong, he sought advice from a mentor. A mentor told him to imagine what he would advise as a consultant. Basically, to practice saying no to anything that didn't align with his core goals. Once he started doing that, he found he had more freedom and could naturally prioritize what truly mattered. In essence, he learned to weigh every new request against his long-term goals. If one thing didn't help him move toward those goals, he learned to say no. Over time, this became a habit, and people eventually respected that he valued his time and energy. And yes, for the synonym of recognize, you could say realized, noticed, or became aware. They all work well to vary your vocabulary a bit. So that's the gist. And you're absolutely right. It's all about quality over quantity. You're doing a great job focusing on that now.
Thank
Let me know
you.
if you'd like to move.
Thank you very much, teacher. I really appreciate your help. So, teacher, now will provide my, because teacher, I'm recording now this. I'm recording my screen, because as I have already shared with you, I'm aiming or intending to share my English session with my followers in YouTube. Even though, teacher, I still don't have any followers, but you know, teacher, it will, I think this YouTube channel, it will have, like, it is like killing two birds with one stone. It will firstly enable me to track my progress, and also, teacher, like, if a lucky person stumble upon my videos, I'm sure that he will like get a lot of advantages from them, and tell me, teacher, their views, advantages, and they would like for me to provide me with a synonym for the word recognize, because I think you have omitted or neglected providing me with the synonym of this word.
Absolutely, Ismail. It's really great that you're recording these sessions and planning to share them. And don't worry, everyone starts out without followers. It's all part of the journey. And you're right, it's like killing two birds with one stone. You get to track your own progress and potentially help someone else who stumbles upon your videos. Now, about the word recognized, of course. I apologize for missing that earlier. Some good synonyms for recognized would be acknowledged, realized, or identified. So you could say, I realized, or I acknowledge that it's not about quantity, but about quality. And just to enhance that last bit of what you said. So teacher, that's essentially everything I took from today's reading. I've really started to focus on quality over quantity because in the past, I thought reading more pages would make me better. Now I've realized it's about digesting what I read and reflecting on how to apply it to daily life. You're doing wonderfully, Ismail. Keep it up and let me know what you'd like to tackle next.
Okay, my friends, I have now shared with my teacher what I have got from today's reading session, and my friend, this technique is really it had been valuable for me over the past days, because my friends, advise you I advise you to start applying this into your reading, into your English session, because my friend, I find it extremely useless to read without sharing what you get from a person. As you know, my friends, unfortunately, there is no one here, uh, like there is no member in my family or friend that I can't share with him what I get from a book. I found that the only things to do is to share it with my teacher, which is ChatGPT. So, my friends, now we'll try to draw something that will elaborate more on what I have got from today's reading. So let's start. I will open a new page. So an empty page. So here, my friends, I will draw something that can enable you to understand much more deeply and thoroughly what I have got from the book today. So my friends, the majority of people, I'm going to draw firstly two circles. Here they are, the first one and the second one. Here is the person who really have a clear a clear and tangible goal who would like to fulfill. And here, my friend, is a person who is just drifting in life and don't have a clear goal. So my friend, sadly, I was this person back in the days. So I was channeling or exerting my energy on different things. Here they are. Here are rows that point out to different things, which means I was channeling my energy to different things. My friends, I overly use the word channeling. For that reason, I think I need to search for a synonym for it. And my friends, also you can do that. Like while speaking, whenever you realize that you exaggerately or overly use a word, you can jot it down, and so you can search for its synonym later after you finish your English session. So I'm going to jot down here this word, which is channeling. Okay, and here, my friends, the person that I'm intending to be, which is channeling his energy to just one thing. So here, my friends, like I wanted, like back in the days, I want to be a cloud engineer, and an athlete, a boxer, and the list goes on, my friend. But now, my friends, today after I have read this book, I'm required to pick just one thing and channel all my energy and focus into it, which is to acquire skill that will enable me to make money. Unfortunately, my friends, my country, it is really a flourishing country. It is really improving rapidly, and that it will unlock a lot of opportunities for people. So we are really grateful. That means we need to work hard so we can contribute to this improvement. So my friend, I need to acquire a skill. And my friend, by channeling my energy to this goal, I will increase the likelihood of increasing that skill, and I will get or acquire that skill rapidly. And my friend, channeling our energy into one thing, it will enhance our focus, and will, because my friends, as I have told you back in the day, my friend, like as I'm sharing with you all these things, I really have started to gain mind clarity, And the more I reflect on these things, the more I really understand them deeply. So, my friend, channeling my energy to just one thing, as I told you, it will really help me to achieve that goal much more like easily. And also, my friends, I'm not claiming or I'm not saying that I will not focus on other things, such as being an athlete or boxer, or taking care of my health. But I will really decrease the energy that I was giving to these activities, and I will channel it into this thing that is essential. So, to take care of my health, I will just do the essential thing, sleeping early, and going back into my home or going to the school by the bike, that it will enable me to like say like increase my heart rate, and also practice some sport while taking care of the environment. Because like my friends, I have got from a podcast that everything that take care of the environment, it is really good also for our mental health, like such as biking, uh, not biking, my friend, I think cycling. It is really good both for the environment and for our mental health. And my friend, as when like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I don't have nothing and the schedule is really empty, then will I will try to run or do some other things related to boxing to increase my stamina or endurance. But on the other days, my friends, I will do just I will do just the things that are aligning with my goal, my chief goal. I don't know, my friend, either I have used here chief correctly. So, my friend, if a person like watch my videos or listen to them, if you recognize that I've made or if he like noticed that I've made some mistake, please, I really want you to provide me with some advices that's gonna enable me to avoid them or to dodge them in the future. My friends, now as I have just shared with my teacher what I have got from today's reading session, I'm going to ask him to provide me with some thought provoking question. And my friends, whenever you would like to practice speaking with the AI, like asking it to provide you with thought provoking question is really beneficial, because it will enable you to think on your feet and to respond naturally. Because the majority of the time, my friends, natural conversation, like you won't anticipate or expect the question that you're gonna get from the person to which you are talking. And that's what I'm trying to simulate with my teacher, to simulate real life conversation by telling him to like keep me on my toes by asking me this thought provoking question. So let's do that. Okay, teacher, now I would like from you to provide me with a thought-provoking question related to what I have shared with you, just to practice speaking, teacher, and to keep me on my toes. And teacher, as I'm recording this session to my followers and also to me, I would like from you to provide me just three beneficial things of thought-provoking question, and how they really contribute to enhancing our speaking, because they really keep us on our toes.
Absolutely, Ismail. Let's dive right in. I'll give you a thought provoking question first, and then I'll share 3 ways that these kinds of questions really help sharpen your speaking skills. So here's your question. Based on what you've learned from the book about saying no and focusing on the essential, can you think of a personal situation where you might have to turn something down in order to stay focused on your main goals? And how do you think you'd feel about that? Now, in terms of why thought provoking questions are so beneficial, first, they help you think on your feet. When you're asked something unexpected, it trains your brain to organize your thoughts quickly and articulate them clearly, which is a huge boost for real life conversations. Second, they push you to use a wider range of vocabulary and ideas. You're not just repeating rehearsed phrases, you're actually practicing new words and structures in a spontaneous context. And third, they build your confidence. The more you get comfortable answering these thoughtful questions, the more natural and self-assured you'll feel in any conversation. So go ahead and give that question a try, and let's keep the practice going.
Okay, see, teacher, as you have asked me the question first, and then you have provided some of the advantages that we get from this thought-provoking question. I have really forget about it utterly. And tell me, teacher, the reviews here utterly to mean completely.
Absolutely, Ismail. And that's exactly why these questions are so handy. They keep us on our toes and help us remember things in the long run. So just to confirm, utterly is exactly the right word to mean completely or entirely. You used it perfectly. So you might say, I utterly forgot about it, which is spot on. Great job catching that. And if you want to dive into answering that question or anything else, just let me know.
Thank you very much, teacher, and I really appreciate your help. So, can you ask me again this question because I forget about it as I have told you?
Of course, Ismail. No worries at all. I'm happy to ask again. Here it is. Based on what you've learned from the book about saying no and focusing on what truly matters, can you think of a personal situation in your own life where you might have to turn something down to stay focused on your main goals? And how do you think you'd feel about making that choice? Feel free to take your time and share your thoughts.
Yeah, teacher, your question it is really interesting, and the word that you have just used, which is turn something down. Please, teacher, can you tell me the word turning something down is an idiomatic expression?
Absolutely, Ismail. I'm glad you found the question interesting. And yes, turning something down is indeed a bit of an idiomatic expression. It basically means to refuse or to decline something, like an offer, an invitation, or a request. So it's a casual way of saying you're politely saying no to something. You used it just right. And if you want to practice using it in your own context, we can definitely do that. Let me know.
Okay, so teacher, here is how I'm going to turn something down, like a request, an invitation, and something that really doesn't align with my long-term goals. So teacher, if I get a request from a person or a new opportunity, because the majority of the time, like especially especially in today's world, we get a lot of opportunities, and the majority of people they found themselves unconsciously or inadvertently like accepting these opportunities, and that teacher would lead them to not really like fulfill any goal because they keep channeling their energy into numerous things and they end up not achieving nothing. So teacher, like whenever I will get a request, here is the criteria that I'm going to follow to know either these things will align or congruent with my long-term goal. And I would like from you, teacher, to provide me with a synonym for congruent to mean something that align with my goal. So I will ask myself a question, which is either this request or this opportunity align with my long-term goal and how it will help me to reach it. If not, I will just turn it down and refuse it instantly. So my friend, like by just saying it, it sounds easier. But turning down opportunity that you're gonna think it will be valuable and beneficial for us is not easy. It's gonna require willpower and focus. But the more we're gonna do it, the more we're gonna anchor this criteria into our identity, and the more easier it will become. And tell me, teacher, that I've used here the word anchor this into our identity correctly.
That was a really thoughtful answer, Ismail, and you explained it very well. Let's just polish a couple of things, and then I'll give you that synonym you asked for. So first, you're absolutely right that turning something down can be tough, even if it sounds easy in theory. It does take willpower and focus to refuse opportunities that seem beneficial on the surface, but might distract you from your long-term goals. Now for a synonym of congruent, you could use aligned, in harmony with, or even consistent with your goals. Any of those would work nicely. And about your phrasing, instead of saying anchor this into our identity, you can definitely use embed or ingrain. So you might say, the more we do it, the more we'll ingrain the criterion into our identity, and the easier it will become. Overall, you explained it really well. It's all about making those choices a habit, so that over time, it becomes second nature. Let me know if you want to dive into anything else.
Thank you very much, teacher. I really appreciate your help. Yeah, I completely agree with you, teacher, that the more we repeat something, the more it will become second nature and we're gonna start doing it naturally and without even thinking about it. That's what I have got from Atomic Habits, which is a book that I'm going to dive into it again to share the nuggets of wisdom that this book involved with my followers so they can start applying it into their day-to-day life.
Absolutely, Ismail. And that's a fantastic takeaway from Atomic Habits. It's all about those small, repeated actions becoming second nature over time. It's great that you're diving back into that book and sharing those insights with your followers too. They'll definitely benefit from hearing those nuggets of wisdom and seeing how they can apply them in their own lives. So keep it up, and whenever you want to chat more about it, I'm here.
So, my friends, now I have just shared what I have got from the book with my teacher. You know, my friend, this strategy, as I have already mentioned earlier, it is really great and beneficial because, my friend, it really helped me to understand the knowledge that I extract from the book much more profoundly and deeply. And, you know, my friends, that also paved the way for me, or enable me, or allows me to know how I'm going to apply it to my life. So, my friends, now we have just finished this the book section. We're gonna move into another section, which is the Anki section. And if you are not familiar, my friends, with the app Anki, it is an app that had been very valuable for me in the last few months because it really enabled me. You can think of it as your external memory because it will enable you to save words and to review this word continuously or gradually or constantly. That, my friends, will enable you to memorize this word and to cement them in your memory so they're gonna become second nature when you are talking to a person. So, my friends, now we're gonna move into this word, review them, and my friend, I'm just like to really I will provide you, my friend, with a brief explanation into how our memory works. So, my friend, here is how our memory works. We need to like for our memory to lock something and to memorize it, we need to be exposed to it numerous times. And that is the role of Anki. It provides us with the word numerous time with space time. For example, you can see a word, review it today and next week and the month and the next month. And by doing that, this word it's become really anchored and deeply ingrained into your memory. So when you are talking to a person, you're gonna feel that this word had become like really easier to use it in conversation. So, my friends, now I will walk you through how you can like practice, review, and key flashcards. And my friends, if you would like, I can create a video that is for how I create this Anki flashcard because it is not an easy process. But I have started using my teacher to generate this Anki flashcard. So all I have to do is just to copy and paste them. It's become much more easier and straightforward. So let's do that, my friend.